And here we go. Huzzah! We're live. Welcome, everybody, to Griffcast Episode 4. I've got with me TCP, Solos Faneron, and good old Wild.
Hey.
Oh, what's been good with everybody?
Not too much chilling.
Whole thing, you know.
Yeah. What if I go back to you, man? So, I guess I'll use this time as what I've been doing to talk about my thoughts on the PlayStation 5. I guess because I've come back to God of War, which is probably the best game ever.
Appreciate,
It's up
definitely up there.
Agree. I even went through and purposefully got a PlayStation to play it.
Yeah. So God of War 4. I mean, doesn't have the 4 in the title, but we all know it's God of War 4. God, man, especially with the PS5 update. Oh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. I just can't help just getting lost and playing that game, and I've beaten it like 9 times, but I just keep going through it.
I haven't done the 4K update on it yet, but I've been doing like the 60 FPS. So
Yeah.
nice. So nice.
I don't have a PS5 yet, but when I saw that they did the update and everything, I was like, man, I kind of want to re-download it on my PS4 just to play it again.
Oh yeah, man, you can't go wrong with that game. God, it just continues to impress, even though I have nothing new to see, I guess. Besides, the PS5 update, but I don't know, man. It's just hard now. Like, I feel like this console launch has been a little bit lacking in content. I don't know. I don't really remember the PS4 launch that
They
well.
always are in the beginning.
Yeah, I know they're always rough, but even still, man, I'm just like some of the best games out for the PS5 are just the PS4 games with PS5 update. I'm talking about Days Gone,
That's
God
true.
of War. There's another one that just got an update too. What's that another PS4 game that just got a PS5 update? And it looks so pretty. I can't remember.
What it is.
A buddy of mine said something about Sparrow the other day, and I was just like, Sparrow?
I've never heard of Sparrow.
You've never heard of Sparrow?
Coming out?
No. You say that like you're shocked, like you're hurt almost.
Yeah, it's because or no, not Sparrow, but Spyro. Excuse me, Spyro.
Oh, Spyro. Yeah, I know.
Spyro.
Yeah, excuse me. My bad. My bad. But yeah, someone was telling me about Spyro, and they were like, "Yeah, they got an update. It looks all nice and clean now." And I was like, "It's Spyro. No matter how it looks, it's still going to be an awesome game."
Yeah.
I mean,
you're talking about the remaster where they have was it all 3 games in one? The Spyro collection. Okay. I'm gonna have to revisit that.
Is my mic coming out? Can y'all hear me?
But yeah,
I hear you. You're just a little bit. You're a little bit on the quiet end.
It's just a little quiet there.
You're trying to hit us with.
I'm trying
to hit us with the low Barry White tones with it.
I'm trying because I've noticed on the first couple episodes that my mic is overpowering because I have to record my mic separate because I don't have my mic doesn't come through the Discord capture. So when I record my mic through Streamlabs, it's actually overpowering everybody else. I'm just like, I kind of got to fix that. So,
I'm just gonna eat my mic. Hello, can you hear me now? Hit it with the low tones and the Barry White, the panty droppers.
I've actually been looking into getting into like an XLR mic and the mixer and going that whole 9 route.
They are nice. They are very nice. But I'm still waiting to get my my Xbox Series X. I'm waiting for it to kind of die down a little bit, and then I'll decide if depending on how far I want to be in wifey jail about buying that. Because if I were to go ahead and do that, it immediate doghouse. So, but definitely.
Have you looked recently? There was a drop. There was a drop recently. I know a couple people got a PS5. A buddy of mine, he was able to get a PS5 and an Xbox Series S.
What?
He got both, and he's like, yo, I got the Xbox Series S, and now I'm just waiting for the PS5. Like a couple hours later, he got it, and I was just like, and It's funny. I'm about to shit on Xbox just a little tiny bit. So he's like, yeah, I got the Series S. And I was like, you got the Series S? He's like, yeah. And I was like, did you get the Xbox One S or the Series S? Because there's a major difference. He's like, no, I got the Series S. I was like, and you wanted the Series S and not the Series X? He's like, I think so. And I was like, do you know the difference?
Oh,
and
man.
and then he came back. He's like, all right, I looked up the differences. I canceled my pre-order. I canceled my order for the Series S. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm like, no, it's a next gen console. It's not a next gen console. I don't even know why they bothered.
Yeah.
So
if you have a
and
Series
that's the thing
S,
about
I'm
Xbox.
sorry.
It's so they make it so complicated by not name more drastic.
yeah, they
Oh yeah,
their naming definitely like
Their naming
PlayStation
convention.
says
Terrible.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Xbox, I knew went from Xbox to Xbox 360 to Xbox One to Xbox One Series
S.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
the,
like-
like the digital version.
Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't the naming convention that got him. The thing that got him was, just that the Series S. He knew it was digital. He knew the Series S was digital, but he also didn't know that the Series S is severely underperforming compared to the X. It doesn't even do 4K. Which, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, if you're doing 2K, if you're getting those frames, it's sexy as hell. But with the Series S, you're just getting 2K and you're still getting 30 to 60 frames.
Mm-hmm.
So where you can have the X and you could get 4K and still do the same thing. So the series, like, he saw the Series S and saw the stats of it and everything, and he's just like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
Wait, is he's talking about the all white, the white one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the white one can do 120 frames.
Can it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
It's 1080. It caps out.
It's easier though because it's 2K.
Yeah, it caps out at 1080.
No. It's 1440.
Can it do 1440?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do 1440 up to 100. I think 1440 is capped out at 60 frames though.
Yeah.
But 1080 is 120.
Mm-hmm. See, that's where they get you.
Yeah,
Like,
you
oh,
see
we,
what I'm saying?
we can do 120 frames. It's not 1440 and it's not 4K, but we can still do 120 frames.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a big disclaimer that they all need to put on their box is that it's either 4K or 120 frames. You're not getting both.
See, so that's another thing that I was talking to the same buddy about. He works for Crutchfield, and he knows a lot about technology and everything, but like he didn't know the difference between the Series S. But then we started talking about TVs and everything. He's like, "Hey, I'm getting a 4K TV and everything." I was like, "You gotta be careful because I got a 4K TV and I paid a fucking pretty dime for this 4K TV, and it advertised at 4K, 120 frames." And I'm like, "All right, good to go." Until I hooked my computer up to it and I'm looking through the adapter settings and it's like, oh yeah, we'll do 4K and we'll do 120 frames, but just not both at the same time. I'm just like, that's evil. How are you gonna do that? I like the brand. I'm not gonna mention the brand just in case the brand comes and hunts me down. But I mean, it's a very respectable brand and I love the brand. I have no ill will. I know it's hard, but I mean, still, I was hoping advertise just a little bit better. They get you at that.
Are you talking about Andish?
Andish?
Yeah.
I've never heard of Andish.
Gio's brother?
No.
Because he works at Crutchfield.
He does work at. He does.
He just got
No.
himself an 8K TV, and he's looking for
another buddy of ours. He's in the circle. I don't know his gamer name, so I'm not gonna throw his government out there like that.
He might got warrants.
No, he doesn't have warrants. He's a good dude. He's a great dude. But still, man, I don't like using real names, man. It's weird. I'm gonna get Wade Watts one day. He's gonna come on me down because I bought an exo boot suit. He's showing up my door, blowing up my condo. I'm like, no, don't use my real name.
But yeah, I really want the Xbox Series X.
It's nice.
I've heard quite a few good things about it.
The only person I've heard saying good things about it is Griff. That's it. I'm sorry.
I've actually been getting in Facebook arguments defending the Xbox versus PlayStation users.
I kind of had a feeling that's something you wanted to talk about.
I don't. That's the thing, because I'm a PlayStation and PC main, and I have had a hell of a lot better experience with the Series X versus the PS5.
Ooh, mic drop. Done.
Both of these are about dead. All right.
What do you mean? This the DualSense?
Yeah.
It's dead? How is it dead? Tell me how it's dead.
I will be in the middle of doing something, and they'll just shut off.
That's never happened to me. My controllers last for days. I'm constantly...
One of them, the touchpad, will just sit there and spam. It'll just spam the touchpad. The other one, it'll make it so the buttons no longer have input, but it'll spam all the triggers.
Definitely not something you want to deal with.
No.
Oh, wow.
But how's that Xbox controller working?
So, okay, hold on. I got to turn Solips down just a little bit. He's coming through loud and clear now.
I feel like you're making up stories. That doesn't sound right.
So, okay, I will say this. So, like, I
don't want that. No, go away.
I had a little bit of a manufacturing error on one of my Xbox controllers, and it was just it's nothing major either. It's just on one of the analog sticks, the seam wasn't cut properly, and so it rubs, and so you get that little catch when you take the analog stick around, you get a little bit of a catch on one of them. But besides that, I've had no problems with the Xbox controllers. And that's after putting in, 90 hours into Valhalla in a week.
I mean, I'll argue I haven't had any problems with my PlayStation 5 controllers.
I mean, I just noticed like, the other day that there's a hard reset on the PlayStation controller. So I'm gonna have to actually play around with that. Take one back for warranty and play around with the hard reset.
Just sounds like you get the short end of the stick for that one.
You know what though? If I'm gonna have is controller issues, I'm not gonna complain. Like I'm not having to send my console back to PlayStation or Sony to get it fixed.
That's very true.
That's the worst fear, man. That's the worst fear, dude. It was like sitting on me for like the longest time. I'm like, what if I turn on my PS5 and it doesn't start? I'm just like,
but when you think about it, like your controller's not working properly. That's kind of like the main way that you interact with the console in the first place. If your controllers aren't working, what good is the console anyway?
But here's the difference, though. Especially like after the crazy launch and everything, I can go to Best Buy and get a new controller and get everything working again. They got console. They got controllers for days.
Yeah. But that's like $60-$70 a purchase every single time. And let's just say that you buy a couple of bunk controllers, a couple times in a row. That adds up.
But I'm also banking on the fact that the next controller I get won't be bum. If I get like 2 or 3 bum controllers,
hopefully,
I mean I'll return them and hopefully get my money back, and then move on and be like, all right, maybe there is a problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're definitely not wrong. That shit will add up.
Yeah, I mean, like
I've heard stories already about people who have had that problem.
I literally just here recently, I just repurchased a Xbox Elite Series 2 controller, and this thing, I can honestly say, for me anyway, the Xbox Series 2 Elite controller has been like one of the best controllers that I've ever used.
Is that one Series X compatible?
Yes.
It is.
It is. And this bad boy, man, it got the paddles on the back, and it's got 3 settings for the trigger. So if you have it like that, you can push it all the way down. And then if you do it on the second level,
oh yeah, you could shorten the trigger.
You can shorten it about halfway.
Ooh, that is
and
nice.
Then there's a third setting, and it's literally just a tap.
Ooh, that is nice.
This is how far as it goes.
That's my only thing with the Xbox controllers. They're pretty deep. They're pretty deep. Like so you can.
Yeah. Now is that actually made by Microsoft, or is that a third party?
Yes, it is made by Microsoft. This thing, and you can do button mapping. You can switch all of the buttons instead of it being an actual button. It can be a paddle. You can do anything with these top buttons, along also when program the actual paddles on the back. And I looked all across the internet, Amazon, everywhere else that I've looked has been like over $200. I got it off Microsoft for like $100. It was like $189, I believe.
They saved about $10.
And, yeah. So, but I mean, like everywhere else, it was like over 200, 240, 250. I'm like, nah, I'm not with that. Went on Microsoft website, got it for $60 cheaper. Yeah, and it's worth it. Absolutely worth it.
I can
I'm
definitely
gonna
see
go ahead and
that.
I need a new Xbox controller. Not that I have an Xbox. I'm on PC. So
They're great for that.
but
I mean, that's.
hmm
I will say I'll give Sony this. Finally, you know, at least with the PS5 controller, it's just plug and play for PC use.
hmm
So I know Xbox has been doing that for a while, but it's Microsoft, so why not have
yeah.
their peripherals support all their platforms?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's jump into our first topic here. Video games as the preferred source of entertainment media. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but since at least 2016, the video game industry has been blowing it out dollar for dollar over um, movies, television, and music.
Yeah, all combined too.
Yeah, combined.
Yeah.
Woo.
Video games just
It's a
gets it
genre
done.
that's been taken over.
Uh, there's another genre
Well,
that beats out video games. You know, video games, movie, and all that other nonsense combined. But I don't think we can talk about it, even though we have a rated R. Sean,
Oh my
I don't know if we can go
God.
that far.
Oh my.
That industry makes too much money.
Do 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 do.
No, but yeah, man, video games is really blowing up. I think you said since like 2016. I mean,
Yeah.
they definitely started gaining traction. Like video games started gaining traction, but I feel like definitely in 2020, I feel like it almost like just went to another level, mainly because of the pandemic. And I don't really want to talk about the pandemic too much, but I mean, just just what it cost, like having people stay at home, they had to find new ways of entertainment and everything. I feel like streamers, took off. More people started streaming, and just that whole thing, just to find a new way of entertainment. It's not only why PC components and the new consoles have been getting hard to get, not just because like I guess your hardcore gamers have been trying to get it, but also now just even the average Joe is just trying to grab all this nonsense, and it's just made it so hard. The industry is just doubling. It's just
And I don't see it slowing down
Yeah,
anytime soon.
everybody's gotten bored.
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
No.
it definitely will not.
Now, so I'm going to lead this into a different direction here. With it making, okay, so I can't believe I'm going to say this, but around 55% of the profits have been from mobile gaming. So, which is why they're,
That's about right.
yeah. So, but still, the console PC market has still been raking in a hell of a lot more. I don't have the percentages in front of me, but they've still been raking in a lot more than, every other form of media. And the other thing I thought was very interesting too is that not only are they continuously making money, but sales for hardware is down. From console purchases to physical game purchases, everything has been like, I think digital sales are up 70%, and equivalent value of hard physical copies are down as much.
I think it's easier. I mean, I tried to move all digital a couple years ago. It's when you buy hardware. I mean, if you think about it, like there's just so many more advantages to buying digital. Other than like, I think the only con to buying digital is that you just can't sell. You can't just sell the software or sell the game after you're done with it.
Or
If you
the
want to resell it,
license.
yeah, the license.
Yeah,
You just can't resell it. But I mean, there's so many more benefits to it. Like you can download stuff, several days before release. So at midnight, you can literally just start playing. Whereas, like, if you're trying to buy the physical copy, you have to be at the brick and mortar store at midnight, wait in line, get the game by 12:10, and then drive back home, plug it in, have it install the game on the hard drive, then download the update for it, and then you're playing. And by that time, it's like, I mean, if you have average internet, it's already 1:00 in the morning.
Yeah. I mean, I can
And
definitely see the pros.
Yeah, I remember so many years ago when that first became an option to, pre-download. I was like, oh yeah. I mean, I'm never going into GameStop or any other store to pre-order a game again.
Mm-hmm.
Get it all digital.
And then also with that resale value, I mean, who really wants 12 cents for a game? I mean, come on now. Come on now.
Well, yeah.
If you have the game on you, if you have your game on the hard drive, you're like, you know what? At any given time, if I want to go back and revisit this game, I can. If you resell it, let's say you bought the game for $60. All right, so you bought the game for $60. Well, now you take it to GameStop. Even sometimes, even if it's a brand new game, if you take it back like a week later, they're like, yeah, we can only give you $20. Wait, what? So I've lost. I'm down $40, and the game just came out a week ago.
It's the biggest slap in the face, because like you go in and like you said, like you get $20 back for the game, and then like if I turn around and I went back into the store, I see my copy, the copy that I just had, and they're reselling it used for $55. You know, just $5 under what it is retail. I'm like, you guys, I hate GameStop. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
GameStop is another story.
We'll touch on that. We'll have an entire podcast, the entire 60 minutes dedicated to GameStop. Just,
you know, I will say, you know, the one thing that I thought was kind of cool is when that whole retro gaming thing was going on a couple years ago, like they were offering fair prices for all your trade-ins. Like I sold them like, you know, a 20-year-old copy of, was it Mario Kart 64 for like they
why'd you
like
get rid of it?
$45 for it.
What?
Yeah.
That is the most that I've ever seen GameStop give for a game.
Yeah, that's because Mario 64 is the national treasure. They're turning around, they're selling it for $200.
The game actually has
go
value.
on eBay. Yeah, go on eBay and try to get an N64 game. Just any N64 game, man. You're paying over $100 for that stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. I had
good classic retro right there.
I went through and like purged all my old consoles. I got rid of I had like 3 PlayStations. Somehow I ended up with like 4 64s, even though I only.
Please don't tell me you sold all of them.
And why are we getting rid of them? What are we doing over here, team? What are we doing?
You already know your boy is gonna. Please tell me you guys still have one of your N64s.
I might.
Listen here. I don't have an N64. My girlfriend has an N64, and as long as she doesn't get rid of it, it's locked. I'm about to put a ring on the finger just so I can keep the N64, man. It's serious over here, team. I'm trying to keep the N64. If we would have had Super Smash Bros, if she would have had Super Smash Bros, I would have been married, locked up. I would have been in the white dress. Just yes. I'm trying to keep this nonsense. You're crazy.
Right.
How dare you? I miss GoldenEye. I want to play some GoldenEye.
I hated GoldenEye.
What?
I was
GoldenEye.
Okay. I'm gonna clarify. I hated it because I was bad at it.
Oh, okay. Well, there's
well, get good. That's your fault. That's your own fault.
There's the clarification.
Like it wasn't, you know, yeah. I just like I couldn't see what everybody else was getting all crazy about because it's like I'm getting killed in 30 seconds every game. Who's Goldfinger and why do you always pick him?
Goodness.
It's hard to see why a game is good if you're constantly dying.
Yeah.
It's
tough. It's kind of how I felt about Demon Souls and Dark Souls.
Yeah, I was waiting for it.
I respect the games and I respect From Software and everything. And I'm just like, it's not my style. I always give them a chance. And I play it for like a little bit. You know, I'll give it like 2 days worth, and I'm just like, yeah, can't take the rage.
It's definitely a game you gotta want to play.
Yeah.
Like I've been wanting to play. I want to try Demon Souls, but I don't want to give money for it because I probably won't finish it.
I have GameFly, so I got Demon Souls for the PS5 through GameFly, and I liked it. I really liked it. You know, I was doing very well, and I'm playing in I guess the first world or level, and I'm having a good time, and I'm surviving for a really long time. You know, I spent like 3 hours in there, you know, gathering resources, doing whatever you need to do, and then that one moment I died, and I had to start from square one, and I'm just like. I don't know if I can do that. Yeah, I'm like, all right, maybe if I because I died, you can run back. You can run to your grave and get your shit back. And then I died like 3 times trying to get to that grave. I'm just like,
You just got to get good, man. You just got to get good.
Yeah, I gotta get good. I'm
That's it,
not gonna
that's
lie. I don't hate the game. I'm not gonna hate on the game. People respect the game. People love the game. Not every game is meant for every person. So
All I want
it
to
is
know,
not.
Griff, is do you still have the N64? Because I don't have one. And if you have multiple,
you had 4 and just got rid of them.
Yeah. Well, like 3 of them were like half busted. They still took them.
What are you doing to half bust the N64? Were you chucking it out of a building? What are we doing? Those things were indestructible.
Put it in storage.
No. He was getting mad at GoldenEye.
Getting mad.
That and that Mortal Kombat RPG they had. No? Nobody remember that?
No, never got to play that one.
No idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was a RPG where you played as Sub-Zero, and you just went through and you did battles like in the arcade, but yeah, it was bad. It was pretty bad. The story was good. The story was fun. But I think I might still have like a Sega Saturn CD somewhere.
Yeah, man. Sega Saturn? Well, next thing you know, he's going to bust out the Dreamcast.
Oh, the
I
Dreamcast.
never had a Dreamcast. I never had a Dreamcast.
I'm trying to remember the Saturn, but I definitely do remember the Dreamcast.
Yeah, a little squiggly circle for their logo. Yeah. I love Dreamcast.
Sega was killing the game in the 90s, man. I don't know what happened to Sega. Like, where did they go? They were doing stuff like I had the Game Gear too, the massive brick of a mobile gaming thing. The Game Gear was dope, man. I had all the accessories for that.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, he's going to tell us he had a fanny pack.
I did have the fanny pack. It all came with a fanny pack. It had a fanny pack. I'm dead ass. I had the Game Gear, and all this shit came in a fanny pack. Oh, dude, I'm pretty sure my parents probably still have that shit. It's probably in my parents' house. I'm gonna go home and find it. I'm gonna bring it back.
He's gonna be rocking the fanny pack next episode.
Oh, dude, I really will. I have to go to their house on Saturday. I'm gonna find that shit. I'm gonna bring it. I'm gonna have it up here. I'm gonna show you. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Oh, I'm excited now.
He's excited to rock the fanny pack. Man, bro,
next week the camera will just be, just kept autofocusing on his waistband.
That's gonna be awesome. I'm not gonna lie, I cannot wait.
Oh man! All right, who came out with that tabletop like VR headset that was all vector graphics?
Oh, you mean the augmented reality headset?
That's it.
Yeah.
Who came out? Was that Nintendo?
I think that was Microsoft.
Was that Microsoft?
Very first one that I remember being revealed, I want to say it was like Windows, or it was compatible with Windows, something like that.
Because I remember the one I'm thinking of, like it came with like a standard like console controller, and then like it came on a tripod, and you just put the tripod on the table and like put your face up to it, and you just played like vector graphics games.
That's insane.
Like that came out in like 95, 96?
You're talking about, it was like all black and red. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Like the screen was? That was, yeah, no, you're right. That was Nintendo. I can't remember the exact name of that console.
That thing was both fun.
But it was,
yeah, it was fun. I never owned one. I had a friend, no, it was definitely around 95, 96 that thing came out, because I had a friend who had one, and I was living on the west coast over there. And no, yeah, it was trippy to play, because one, you had to put your face into this device, and then everything was vector graphic. I don't remember, like I think they had a Mario game on it.
I played,
I think they had.
I actually had a friend at the time that as well. It was a Wario, probably.
That might have been, and I think they had a Star Fox. I think that was on there too. But we'll use this to segue, because that was kind of the first step into the modern VR era.
Yeah, that was one of the first things that I remember, although they had other headsets way back in the day. I remember one time when I went to the beach with my family when I was younger, there was this pizza parlor, something like that. They had a VR set up there, and it was like this huge, bulky, construction or just this construction thing that you just kind of walk into, put on this big, bulky headset, and graphics were terrible at that time. But yeah, here we are like 20, 30 years later, and it's a whole different ball game now.
Mm-hmm. Now,
have you guys seen like the Oculus Quest and all that?
I've looked into it, but I haven't actually used one yet. Has anybody else here gotten to VR?
I've gotten to VR, but not on the Oculus. A buddy of mine actually just got, I think he just got the Oculus for free a couple months back. And
how do you manage that?
So this buddy of mine, he is a product tester for Best Buy.
Nice.
So, and he said that it is a very, very, very exclusive program. It is you can only get into it by invitation. And
I think they're giving away freaking Oculuses.
Yeah. I mean, he got one of those. So he's got a nightstand, right? And it's a smart nightstand. He can put his phone on it. It'll charge. It's got a cooler in it. It tells the time. It's got a speaker in it. I'm like, this thing. I think this thing is like $600 or $700.
Jesus,
and that's pretty legit.
And he got it for free. I'm almost like, can I get that invitation? Can I get that invitation? Because
send one this way.
Yeah. Because I mean, he gets what he just got the brand. I think he got a brand new Mac, for testing. He's gotten vacuums.
Must be nice. I need a vacuum, man.
Yeah,
dog hair everywhere.
Yeah, I mean I mean he's got the credit card to Best Buy, so he does like even before he got the product review, he was always doing product reviews, and I'm guessing they saw that and they're like, well, I mean, you're doing it for free. How about you can actually get something out of it? And he signed up for it, and he's been doing it ever since. And I think the last thing he got was, I think it was a computer, either a computer or a monitor that he got, and it's a pretty expensive monitor. And the product review for Best Buy is legit. And that VR headset that he got, the Oculus, he's actually shown me it, and this thing is top notch.
So is this the one that's consoleless or wireless?
Yes.
Nice. So where we started, because I remember those old arcade ones, or you see them at the fair where they'd set it up and they put you in like this little round little area just covered in handrails so you don't walk off the edge, into they give you those the old Nintendo gun, and you just walk around. They'd stream it up on the big screen, which you were doing. I remember those. Into then VR after that went dead silent for what, 15, 16 years, something like that.
It was a long time. Am I the only person that, like, when we talk about VR, I mean, it comes back to like what you just said, but I think of the Sinbad movie First Kid, and he's playing VR in the mall.
Yeah, I remember that.
So that's what I was thinking about VR, and like, I think like one of the early versions that you were talking about. That's like, I saw Psyop said it was just red and black, just like these gigantic visors that he was playing with. And I was just like, nice.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I actually have a Quest 2 myself. I originally started with the PlayStation VR, just into it for the first time to see what VR was like, and I was so taken by it. I was like, I want to play a more legitimate VR experience. And I mean, the graphics are not going to blow you away by any means, but the experience, just being in the game, I mean, it's definitely not like playing anything just sitting on the couch looking at your TV. I mean, you're really there, when you're playing these games. And if the game has a good enough feel to it. You can really just kind of get lost and forget you're even in your living room or wherever you're playing it.
Absolutely.
Well, I haven't played any VR. Just haven't gotten to it, whether it's been PlayStation or Oculus. My company does a little bit with VR. We have some VR and AR programmers, and just out of curiosity, I've messed with their stuff. Give me some goggles and I, mess around in their environments and stuff. But I mean, that's the extent of it. But I mean, it's been pretty dope when I've been in there. I can't imagine myself gaming. I'm definitely be one of those people, on on YouTube, just sitting there, and then all of a sudden I just bust my ass in my TV, and just everything's broken and destroyed. I'm just damn.
No, that would be me if I played Resident Evil. Because they did the Resident Evil VR, and I was like, no, I'm good.
I don't know. I'm playing any game that is like a scary game. Your heart's gonna race constantly. I played a couple games like that, and I mean they're fun, and I can bear playing a game like that any day, like just on a TV. But when you're in the game, all of a sudden everything's just in your face, and it's like, nope, I'm sorry, I don't want to do this anymore.
Like Five Nights at Freddy's, fine. VR, nope. I'm out.
And I already can't stand games. I can't do games that even playing it on a TV screen. I am not a big fan of games where stuff jumps out at me. And
the horror games.
Griff he knows that I cannot stand that. If you put me in VR, I'm already busting my ass. I don't care what game it is. Any game that stuff jumps out, I'm done for.
Well, I was gonna be over there just sitting there playing, like, oh shit, fuck. Oh, it's just a title screen. Damn.
Yeah, exactly. No, I can't.
There's one game I've been playing on the VR that I will get into. It's the Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. In the previews for that.
I haven't.
That is actually a legitimately good game. You can actually kind of free roam throughout this world. You can break into houses. You can fight against the zombies and the real life people that are out there. And that game, I don't know, the cel shaded graphics makes it a little easier, but I mean, that game actually doesn't make me sick to my stomach when I'm trying to kill these things when they're coming after me and overwhelming me. It's that game's a little different, but maybe it just performs better. Hard to say.
So, I mean, have you ever had an issue with getting motion sick playing those games?
In the very beginning, yes. There was a couple of games when I played the PlayStation VR. That's because I forget what the proper term for it is, but basically the graphics are not the best. So there's kind of this screen door effect. That's what it's called. So it's kind of like you're literally looking through a screen door. You can kind of see the lines, but not exactly. And if the graphics in the game are good enough, usually you can look past it and not even realize it. But in the Oculus Quest, for example, you don't even see the screen door effect at all. And it's a very crisp, clear image. But I feel like not having a crisp, clear image can sometimes make you a little nauseous, especially if you're not used to it. Now, the first couple games I played, I did feel a little nauseous, but then I kind of pushed through it, got used to it, and by the second or third day, I didn't feel nauseous anymore at all, and I was able to just play as long as I wanted, and it didn't seem to be an issue after that.
I've never even thought about that. Motion sickness. I just be one of those people if I'm about to fall off a cliff and just teeter over and just.
It's weird. Your brain is registering that your body is moving, but your body is not actually moving. So it's just it definitely is a very weird feeling when you do it for the first time and you're not prepared for it.
Now, how do you use it? Do you sit on your couch and just walk around that way and use the controller for all your movements, or do you?
It depends. It depends on the game, actually. Say for example, if I'm playing a shooter, which I only have a couple, I will try to make as big of a play space as possible. With the Quest, you can actually draw a digital line on the ground and make your play space as big or as small as you want. And when you kind of get close to that wall, there will be a digital barrier that shows up to say, hey, you're getting too close, you're about to run.
Oh,
Smart.
That's actually like
nice.
a very, very super helpful thing, and will definitely prevent you from running into stuff. But occasionally, you might still do it if you're moving too quick. Um,
But
but
still,
yeah,
though,
like when
that's
it comes to moving, yeah, but like when it comes to moving around, with the Quest, you have two analog sticks, one on each hand, but you might very seldomly need to use those analog sticks because you just move yourself like you would in real life. You say like you're walking around a corner, you just like want to peek around the corner, you can just ignore the analog sticks and just do it like you would in real life. And it's weird, it's trippy for the first time,
that's definitely an interesting feature. I'm glad to see that there's still innovation coming even within the present form of VR.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
just
actually
imagine
watching
Call of
something
Duty
the
like that.
other. I was watching something the other day where apparently Facebook or Oculus Quest, they're already working on a Quest 3. And apparently this is probably going to be a thing. Like, you know how they come out with cell phones like every half a year, every year, coming out with a new model. VR might actually become the same way because it literally has the same technology inside of it. I mean, basically a cell phone specifically geared to be a VR headset. And for those people who have actually tried VR before with their phone, cannot compare these things because it is not the same experience. The VR with an actual phone and then like putting it in a box and trying it like
Right.
that.
I do remember those. Yeah.
That is not VR. It is a garbage experience for anyone who is comparing that to what they think the Quest is. No, it is not the same thing.
Damn it! I need a Quest 2 now, man. What are we doing?
Yeah, I need to look into it myself.
I'm gonna go over here and try it. Like, and you're telling me like you can sit on your couch and play it. So like, if you're
for certain games, if you really want to.
if you're sitting on your couch and like you have to do like a 360 like to see some stuff, does it make it hard, or can you like use the joysticks to like turn around?
You can use the joysticks to turn yourself around, or I mean, the options they're all there. You can do pretty much whatever you want. I mean, normally the way that you would move in a game, unless you actually have the space to physically move around, you'll just use the analog stick to actually push forward, move backwards, just like you would with a regular controller.
Okay.
Yeah, I might have to take a look into that.
Interesting.
Maybe try not to get into the doghouse on that one.
Yeah, since
But with the price point now, it's a lot more easier to get into.
Yeah, with the ability to map out a room, like
Yeah,
I've got a pretty big open space in my living room, so that'd be interesting.
You're talking about the price point. How much is the Oculus? It's the Oculus Quest 2, right?
Yeah, so
I
like
guess that's the newest one.
Yeah, I think the base model 62 gigabyte version is like $300 or $299.
That's not bad at all, man.
That's kind of a steal, honestly, because like for real, you don't need a console computer to hook it up to. Like say for example, the PlayStation version, you still have to have a PlayStation to use that headset. So that's like double the cost almost. But you just buy the Oculus Quest 2, it's all there. The only catch for anyone that has a problem with Facebook, you have to have an active Facebook account in order to use the headset.
I thought
that's where they get you.
Okay,
that's the catch.
So it's not completely no strings attached. There is that one thing, and for some people that's a big thing. Me personally, I don't really use my Facebook account for a lot of personal stuff, so for me it's not that big of a deal. But for other people, it might be a big deal.
So I didn't see the Facebook thing coming into play. That's pretty surprising. But I thought you still need a PC. I thought you need a PC to I guess run everything, to process everything. So you're saying you just need the headset and everything, you're good to go?
Yeah. Now, when it comes to PC, you can plug it up to a PC and give yourself access to everything that is available on there, which is like a ton of stuff. I couldn't even tell you everything that's available on there. It's a lot of free stuff too, which I want to say is available through like Steam and whatnot. I mean, you can do that. You have to buy a cable to plug it up to your PC and make that possible. But it really is like an all-in-one package. I mean, if you just simply want to use it, just the headset standalone. I mean, it works for that. In fact, they've actually recently come out with updates where you can go into the web browser in the headset and actually access a different market to access different games that are not necessarily official Oculus Quest games.
That's
So,
wild, man.
Do you think
They're definitely opening things up.
Do you think we could ever hit a? Actually, this is going to kind of work into our next little thing here. But do you think that we could ever get to a point to where, we get the full haptic suits and a treadmill in our house and run with it like that? Do you think that's viable in the near future? Or
They're already working on it. They're actually already doing stuff like that. But for anybody who thinks that this is going to replace quote unquote couch gaming, regular gaming isn't going anywhere. This is just going to exist beside it.
Not anytime soon.
And for people who just want to play a more active version of gaming, I think this is going to satisfy a certain market.
Yeah, I can't wait for it. I absolutely can't wait. And I actually looked up for the Oculus, and literally the first line that it literally says requires internet connection and Facebook account.
Yeah.
So that's crazy though. I might have to.
Yeah, internet connection.
That's kind of
but when you download.
Right? So now does the
when you download those games, certain ones you don't actually have to play online, depending what they are.
So are the games streamed or are they downloaded?
Downloaded.
They are downloaded.
You might be able to stream some games. I download mine.
Okay. Well, that's going to lead here into this next little bit here. Streaming services, the good, the bad, the greedy. I know we're a long way away from streaming services being a proprietary service, but just because we don't have access to the internet connection needed worldwide, even countrywide, we don't have it. The average speed here in America, I think, is 25 gigs is the average speed, and then we have certain areas like
25 gigs. That's a lot, man. I would love to have
25 megabytes.
I would love to have 25 gigs.
Yeah, me too.
I would do unspeakable things.
Yeah, I'm happy I got a gig,
Yeah.
But we're starting to get to where fiber optics is becoming a lot more available across the country, but it's still not available across the country. It is just hitting certain hot spots.
Yeah, that's why I think you're talking about the speed and the accessibility of internet, and I think I'm not trying to go where you're already headed or to assume where you're trying to go with this, but I mean, I feel like services like PlayStation Now and Xbox Game Pass would definitely be the way of the future. I mean, I think that's where they're trying to go. And it's just they haven't pushed it too hard just because they know not everyone has the internet capabilities to sustain it. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's where I was going with it. Is those services including Steam, stuff like that. I can fully see I think Stadia came out too early.
It was too ahead of its time. I mean, I'm surprised they even they're trying to backtrack now and they're trying to almost get rid of it.
It's I don't think they should. It just came out too
early.
Funny
thing about Stadia, I remember. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, well, the funny thing about Stadia, I remember some people who actually did play it. I didn't know anyone personally, but just reports that I'd seen. It was apparently actually a good service. It actually worked. And funny thing is, just to relate back on Cyberpunk for a second, that was actually one of the few places where you could play the game and it actually worked really well.
Yeah, I had a buddy of mine, and he had Stadia, and I've been meaning to talk to him because I mean he was pretty heavy into Stadia. He was using it quite a bit, and that's how he played Cyberpunk, and he seemed to enjoy it. He said there was nothing wrong with it. He probably didn't even deal with as many bugs as people who had that were playing it on physical systems. Just because the backbone servers, everything that they were playing on, were powerful enough to run the game without having glitches and having the game break. So I mean, he had a good time playing it.
Which is really surprising, due to the potential latency that you could hit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, then again,
that's what you would expect with a stream.
Yeah, but then again, I mean, that latency is what could have been what stabilized the game for him. Because it's processing ahead of time of what you see versus trying to process it as you see it. But I mean, obviously, you're still talking about milliseconds, but either way.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I can count that every now and again because I still use PlayStation Now, and I'll stream games. I mostly try to download the games. But like if you're playing, a game that's, I guess too old for the era, and you have to stream it. And, you get caught with that every now and again where the stream can't keep up. So, you either drop frames or you lose connection, and it kind of does make it unflattering, but I'm just gonna blame my internet service provider for that one.
Yeah, I've tried PlayStation Play. It wasn't the service for me, but to each their own. I got in that little bit of argument with Crywolf over it about Game Pass versus PlayStation Now, and in my opinion, the Game Pass right now is a better deal because one, it includes your Xbox Live. It's not a separate transaction, and also they just constantly rain new games.
Okay, I wouldn't say constantly, but so that's the thing. That's the thing though, because Xbox Game Pass, they cater to newer games, whereas PlayStation Now they cater to older games.
Yeah.
So when some people will talk about like the collection size or the library, PlayStation Now library is huge, tens of thousands of games, but they're all old games. You're not going to find a game that's on there that's less than like 2 or 3 years old. You're not going to find brand new games on there. Whereas on Xbox Game Pass, all their games came out within like the last, either that day or within like the last year.
Yeah.
Or, a couple of years, because I mean, Forza 4 has been out for a while, and
well, then Microsoft keeps contracting out for like EA and all these.
So that makes me a little salty because I mean I've had Xbox Game Pass for a while and I've been holding on to it, but I'm on PC and I'm waiting for EA. What do they call it? It's not what is it? What is EA's?
Oh crap! I just saw it too.
I can't believe it's escaping my mind right now.
Because they had the Origin launcher, which always threw me off of what their actual service was called.
It's not the Origin launcher. It's something you can play where you can play a lot of EA's new games and stuff. Yeah. Oh my god, I can't believe
EA Access.
EA Access, that's it.
Yes, thank you.
Go.
And they're taking their sweet time, very sweet time, bringing it to PC where it's been on, it's been on like the actual console since December.
Yeah. They
said they're gonna have both in December, and they're like, oh, we're pushing, EA Access on PC just back just a tiny bit, and so here we are sitting in March, and
that is another thing though that I really like about what they did there is that, if you get the console version of Game Pass, you can still use it on PC.
Mm-hmm.
So you can still get the PC version of the games from your console.
Well, it's just the thing. Like either you have Xbox Game Pass or you don't. So if you have Xbox Game Pass, you can either use it on PC or you can use it on console, however you want to use it. You just have it. Yeah, on your phone. your video was doing something funny there, so like like your phone was disappearing.
You can play them on your refrigerator now.
Phantom phone.
I mean, refrigerators getting those smart screens on it. You never know.
Yeah, man.
They got them.
Fucking wow, man. People are going to be making Facebook posts from their toaster.
Yeah.
I think they already have. It's just technology is getting crazy, and
Yeah. Next year,
but I mean,
screen share.
I do like Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah, I do too. Like, but it's also that thing is which one is fits you more. Do you want to play the old games? I personally don't want to play the old games. I want to play the newer games.
Yeah, I mean, I've already played new stuff. I mean, I still have PlayStation now, and I use it from time to time. But like, most of the really good games that they have on there is games that I already own. So I'm kind of just like, I'm almost kind of throwing money away at it, I guess.
Yeah. But here's one of the things, though, from that really bothers me is, the only one who doesn't do this is GOG. From Steam to the Epic Game Store to Origins to Game Pass, if you buy a game on one of these services, you don't own it. You are
sorry. Say that again.
If you buy a game on everywhere but GOG is the only one who doesn't do this. If you buy a game, Blizzard, Steam, Game Pass, anything like that, you do not own the game. You own access to the game as long as they are supporting it. That is all you get. So there's no
about that before.
Yeah. So like 20 years from now, like say, you bought Witcher 3 digital. 20 years from now, if Steam's like, yeah, we're not going to support that anymore, you lose access to that game.
Well, as in they're supported, as in they're not going to provide the developer updates, or you won't be able to download it anymore. You won't be able to download it. You won't be able to do anything.
They will straight up remove it from your library. You will have no access to it if the location you purchase it from no longer supports it.
I've never done that.
Yep.
It's even the PlayStation Store, all the games I bought on the PlayStation Store, way back when.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like the chances of them doing that is slim to none. But still, the fact that they can do that,
it's more or less the can versus the have. They have pulled games off of their stores and upset people, but it was a little $5 indie game.
Well, you sure? Because there was a time. I think they did it with Sinking City and also PT, Silent Hill PT. That they no longer supported it. You couldn't buy it or get it new or whatever. But if you had already bought it, they would still allow you to download it and play it and do whatever.
Well, that's the thing. But
PT trailer, I actually still have that on my PlayStation.
Yeah, I kind of feel bad because I was stupid enough to not get the PT demo, and I'm one of those people who are like, oh shit, they took it away, and now I don't have it, and now I want to play it.
So that was something they did just to maintain the customer relations that they had with the ones who already purchased it.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go in a year from now and they can just pull it, just because it's we don't want to keep that on the store. We don't want to keep maintaining the hard drive space for it. So that's what always worries me about the streaming services, because you will only ever be able to play what they say you can play, not everything that you've purchased.
It's a little fucked up.
So that's why I call
it's
this.
It's a major limitation.
I mean, it is a major limitation. I mean, I don't imagine.
I guess that's
the optimistic me.
It hasn't. I think it's what it's called. DCR. I think it's what it's called. Look it up. It's in the user agreements.
You read those? I don't read those. I'm sorry.
No, I read forum posts by people who read them.
My soul has been given to so many demons. I never read those. Some games they make you scroll through and I'm just like, why are you even bothering? You trying to provide me some integrity so that I actually read it. I'm not going to read it. I'm just going to scroll through as fast as I can.
I had to sign all the contracts for the HBO Max so I could watch Justice League, and they made me scroll through them on my Roku TV, and those things are 5 minutes long.
It's a long scroll, man. My thumb gets tired.
Yeah.
I play a lot of video games, and that's still making my thumb get tired. I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, I get that writer cramp going, Hey, child, come and hold this button down.
Yes. Yes. All right.
Is that what you use your children for? Slave
Don't release the parent secrets. You can't do that.
All right, let's jump into our last topic here. All right, so spoiler warning, people. Snyder Cut, Justice League. Where do we want to start with this?
I don't know, man. It is so just happy. I'm just like, can we start by like just shitting on Warner Brothers for just being the.
Okay, so
can I say whatever I want? I feel like some sort is going to come back and
start.
bite me in the ass. Somebody from Warner Brothers is actually watching this. Like,
I'm serious. Speaking of the.
Come on, man! Just let Zack Snyder do his fucking thing. Just let him do his fucking thing. I understand that. Like, I guess during the first Justice League movie, a little bit right more into it, he had a lot of things happen in his personal life, which is why he left.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, like other movies and other things like that. Just let him do his thing, man. The dude's genius. Great things.
So I will say, like, has everybody here watched it? I know you watched it. I know you watched it. I watched it. Did you watch it, Wild? Ah.
Oh,
Kick him out. Give him the boot. Give him the boot.
I get the man hammer.
You gotta get out of here, bud. You can't be here.
Okay, so actually, I think we could almost talk about it spoiler free.
I think you can talk about it, and it's spoiler free because it's still the same movie.
But it's not.
It's just how it's portrayed and how they tell the story, what they added.
Oh, okay.
And it's mostly what they
right.
added.
Yeah.
So the stuff that they took out of the movie was just, kind of like dumb stuff anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of pointless. Didn't really need to be there. Over sexualization of Wonder Woman, how they showed Flash as not being competent and everything, which kind of bugged me, but also kind of like, I liked it. I mean, at the same time, like, they need to go into the Flash's backstory a little bit more. I understand Justice League was not the time to do that, which is fine, but I feel like the Flash is at a weird point in the movie for me because we don't know anything about his backstory, but he's already pretty far along in his superhero career, even though they portray it as he's not.
Yeah. So the actor who played Barry Allen, I like him. He's a great actor. And he did really good with what he had.
I think he did.
But I don't feel like Barry Allen was the best choice for him. Like, he doesn't feel very Barry Allen to me.
I think he would have been a better Wally West.
Really? You think
he
of Wally West?
I think he would have been a decent Wally West. But still, even as Barry Allen, I think he's not bad Barry Allen. I don't. Sometimes I do see it and I'm just like, maybe he shouldn't have been Barry Allen. And sometimes it's like, maybe he should have been Barry Allen. I don't know. I'm on the fence with it.
So, like, that's the thing, though, is like, same thing with what's her face's Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot.
Yeah.
When I first saw the casting for her, I'm like, that casting is horrible. But then Wonder Woman, the first one came out, and I'm like, okay, you've sold me. You own this character. This is all you. You go, girl. You do your thing.
I'm not gonna lie that she was not a great choice. She's done very well in the role. I still don't think she would have been my first choice. But I mean, she's still doing the role. She's still doing the role. She's doing a great job. I'm not gonna hate on her. I have no negative thoughts about her role. But
no,
she still wouldn't have been my first choice.
No. And speaking of casting, did they recast Deathstroke?
No. That's always. I cannot pronounce his name. He's got the most Italian name I've ever seen in my entire life. I cannot pronounce it.
I thought it was the guy from one of the guys
Joe.
from Spartacus.
No, it's cast as Spartacus. There's two guys cast as Spartacus. You're talking about the first guy, something winner. He died of cancer, so they had to recast him. And I can't think of his name.
I already know that if any type of Trivial Pursuit game ever comes up, I'm losing automatically. Losing.
I like that. Oh, God, you're taking my mind in so many different places. Now I want to talk about Spartacus. The guy that they first cast for Spartacus. God, did he own that role? But I think the second guy that they got to pick up, he did a great job too. And it's also funny enough because he played God, I can't remember, like Storm Wizard. I don't know, but he's in the Flash show. He's in the Flash show, and he plays Weather Wizard. That's what it is. He plays Weather Wizard in the Flash CW series. Also, funny enough, he's also in Gears of War 4 and 5. He plays something Phoenix, Marcus Phoenix's son.
Okay,
I know a lot, man. It's weird.
They did recast him.
They did not recast Deathstroke. No, it's always been Joe. I'm gonna butcher it. I'm gonna butcher the shit out of it. Joe Manganiello.
That's it.
Yeah, he's always been Deathstroke. They didn't recast him.
No. Manu Bennett was Deathstroke and Arrow. That's it.
Yes, and he was also in Spartacus. We're coming full circle, man. It's a tiny cyclone of just this nonsense.
Oh, wait a minute. So the same guy that played one character also played another character in a different series.
No, so we're talking about two different guys right now.
Yeah.
So
okay. Joe.
You know,
really,
Joe Manganiello.
That's it.
Yeah, Joe Manganiello.
Attempting that.
He was not in Spartacus. He was not in Spartacus.
He was not. But Manu Bennett was. But
yes, and then he also played
Deathstroke and Arrow, not in Justice League.
No.
Okay. Which is why I got confused. Because I could have swore that they actually brought him over to the first movie, but they didn't. Okay.
He played a badass Deathstroke in Arrow, man. I was always looking out for him, man. I also liked him from Spartacus. I can't even think of the name, man. My brain moves too fast. I can't remember his character's name, but he was fucking doing some dope shit in Spartacus. He's fucking badass.
I always called him the Gaul.
Yes.
But okay, so I do have a couple of minor complaints about Snyder Cut.
As we all do.
I think the first third of the movie, you could have cut 20 minutes out of there. There was a lot of just filler scenes.
No.
You don't think so?
No.
I thought way too long.
It was a little bit necessary, and it's good. I was just like, my mind had just went in flush mode because I literally just watched the Snyder Cut. I went and watched it again just to get ready for this podcast. I watched it today just to get ready for this. And no, man, it was because all the scenes in the beginning too, especially like that first third, are like all the new scenes.
Yeah,
you know,
like the only one that was the same, even though it was still a little different, was the Wonder Woman intro scene.
Right, but it was so different. I loved what they did with her. She was a little bit more badass. Yeah. I'm also going to complain a little bit because I don't remember her being that fast. So, in any of the original content, I don't remember her being that fucking fast. Where she's blowing, blocking the bullets of a entire magazine of 30 rounds. Yeah. I don't remember her being that fast. That's pretty fast.
Originally,
she's pretty fast. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty badass.
Oh yeah.
I mean that whole entire. I remember that scene with her where she and also. Oh my god, I've literally seen so many comical videos on that particular scene.
So you've seen the original Justice League, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but they made her move lightning fast in that scene in the Snyder Cut. She's up there with Flash and Superman. I'm like, she's not that fast, but I will allow it.
Yeah, but it's funny because there's a comment going around that it's not PC to talk about. But it's her and Superman. She's sitting there blocking bullets, and Superman's next to her goes, "Aren't you invulnerable? Why are you blocking bullets?" And so she stops and is right, just she's like jiggle, 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 and she's all like, "Yeah, that's why."
It's nasty.
That's funny.
But
for me personally, when I was watching the movie.
Uh-oh, you cut out.
Oh.
I felt like there was way too many slow motion scenes. You know,
Okay.
like they were killing the slow motion for me. I was like,
Okay.
all right. I mean, a
There
little
was a
bit here
lot.
and there. That's cool. I get it.
This is one of my complaints. Did every scene need to look like a Disney poster?
Yeah, that's kind of what I got from it.
Disney poster. I mean,
Look
bit
at Disney
anyway.
posters
Yeah.
for Marvel and Star
I
Wars
wouldn't
for the
say
last
Disney.
Marvel.
Yeah,
Look at
okay.
the posters for the last 5 years of Marvel and DC of Marvel and Star Wars posters. Every scene looks like that.
yeah, it's very picturesque, I guess.
Yeah. I can
But
I
it
can see
felt
that.
very overly dramatic.
But it is DC, and that's what DC is. It's overly dramatic. So
Yeah.
Great.
Well, not gonna knock him for it. Just saying, I felt like it was a little overdone.
I don't know. I loved it. Like the first time I watched it, it was hard for me to separate the old version, the Whedon's version, versus this one because like a lot of the scenes were similar because Snyder filmed the majority of the movie, and then they had Whedon come in, take over it, changed a few scenes here and there, and then finish the movie out. So it was hard for me like at times to separate what was what. But then the second time I watched it, it was so much better. I fell in love with it every bit of the way. So good. I don't know where I was going with that.
I think I'm right.
His
Yeah,
brain,
rubbing off there.
his brain, your brain literally works faster than you can speak.
I don't know. Sorry. It's the troubles of being a genius, I guess.
Same problem sometimes.
No, man. I really like the Snyder Cut, and the
No,
pacing. The pacing was, some people are like, that's like their one complaint. They're like, oh, the movie was too long. I was like, nah, man, it was perfect. That
It
was
wasn't,
the
like-
trouble of the Whedon cut. The Whedon cut was too short. They tried to, even though it was still long, they tried to cram too much information, and they ended up cutting out some of the smaller yet finer details
So
to create the picture.
I didn't think the movie was too long. I just think that certain scenes were too long. Like there were scenes
Yeah, that was kind of my feeling on it.
that didn't need to be as played out as they were.
The only scene that I kind of understand it was the Aquaman scene after Bruce Wayne finds Aquaman for the first time and the villagers start singing. I was like, all right, this scene might be a little bit too long, but that's about it.
So that was one of them.
That was kind of how I felt on that one.
I'm going to say this though. The updated look for Steppenwolf was awesome. Cyborg,
Dope.
freaking stealing the show every
Cyborg, it was-
scene.
I love it. Someone said this. It's not a Justice League movie. It's a Cyborg movie, and I'm so here for it. Like he came through and just like he stole the show, man. I love that they did it. They definitely went a lot deeper into his origin story, and like they just he was the backbone. He was the backbone. Yeah, Batman brought him all together, but nothing would have happened without Cyborg. Cyborg did fucking everything almost effortlessly. Is just and I'm gonna say it too, man. It's a great thing for black cinema. I know Ray Fisher, he had he went through some, I mean, he's called out Warner Brothers several times about how their treatment of African American actors and stuff, and I'm so glad that he was able to get his his fucking redemption with this movie and show played a fantastic role. And his role just literally stole that fucking movie. That movie would not happen without him.
Like every scene he's in, he is the center. Like he overshadows, Superman, Batman. He just takes the show. And I am going to say this though, on that same aspect is they don't play the race card with the character. He is just a badass character from start to finish.
Yeah, they did a great job of making it, not about being about race, but like you see it at the same time. Like it's a very strong character, not just because he's black, but just strong character in general. I mean, yeah.
And that's, in my opinion, that's the way it should be in all forms of media. Is your skin color, your ethnicity, isn't your defining character trait. Your character is your defining trait, and that is just an aspect of your character. And they did this so well with that character. A poor example is what they did with Finn. Finn has had the potential to be one of the greatest characters in the Star Wars cinematic universe, and they did him dirty.
Yeah.
But the comeback story for Cyborg in this, absolutely loved it. It was fantastic.
So great.
But and hopefully that all came out right, and it, I'm not gonna get canceled for that. But
I don't know. I started it, so like you have a little bit of excuse.
Cis white guy sitting here telling about racial disparity in cinema. It's like, but fantastic. I mean,
it was just great.
I'll say this about the movie: the last scene with the post-apocalyptic with Joker was pretty cringe.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't even want to mention that. It was just. It was. I don't even see why they put that in there.
Oh, you're talking about like from like that point of view. I liked it the first time. The first time I watched it, I was kind of like, unnecessary, and then I watched it and like, it's still just trying to like set up the future or like what they're trying to avoid, what it's gonna be. So.
Well, like, even they had that line in there where Bruce Wayne was like, hey, I had this dream that Barry Allen was just standing here telling me that, Lois Lane is the key to everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, so we're talking about Barry Allen time travel here. That's what that's what they hinted at, but it looked like that's what they were building off of in that last scene, but Jared Leto has the potential to be one of the great Jokers, but that scene was really cringe.
Like that whole scene was like basically supposed to be a redemption for him because nobody liked the Joker that he did in Suicide Squad. Mm-hmm. And I personally did not watch Suicide Squad, so I can't necessarily speak on how that role was, but I did watch reviews and I did see enough of it to form an opinion. And I mean, I don't know. I'm sure there's people out there that love that version of the Joker. I don't know. I just couldn't accept that version of the character. And then the version was like him trying to be like, I don't want to say like Joaquin Phoenix, but I mean, it's similar in some aspects, I suppose. And I feel like he's just trying to redeem his character. And I don't really feel like it worked personally. And I feel like a lot of other people are probably going to agree.
Mm-hmm. You were right. It was definitely a 100% a redemption. He was trying to redeem the character. They were trying to redeem the character. Zack Snyder was trying to redeem the character. The first time I watched that scene, I didn't like it because I had the same opinions that I had for when he did his Suicide Squad Joker. The main thing was just like, man, pick an accent and stick with it. His voice range is just all over the place. And I get it, like he, at some scenes, he's trying to mock different people, and which is why his voice changes. But even still, when he's trying to stay like to the Joker's natural voice, it still feels like it's changing too much. And so that was like the only thing that I found wrong with this Joker in this particular scene. But I still like, I think he still captured his essence, pretty well. The tension between him and Batman was really good, and I felt it too. Like I was like, I've never seen like the Joker have it. Like when Batman said that fucking line, I swear to God, I was like, oh shit. He's like, make no mistake, I'm gonna fucking kill you. And he was just like, and like you can see like actually in the Joker's eyes, and like, yo, the Joker actually got fucked up a little bit when he said that.
Yeah.
And so like,
I think if Jared Leto had Mark Hamilton's voice, I think it would have been a lot better.
Yeah, he just needs to find the voice and just nail the voice, and that's it.
He reminds me like vocal wise of like that he could hit the range of like the 90s cartoon Joker. Like if he wanted to, he could push that range for that voice. Just need to bring his aesthetic to match it. I'm not against him being the Joker. I think he has a lot of potential in the role. They just never let him find it.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think with the reshoots, they probably didn't give him enough time because of the with this scenario, I mean, it was the only scene that he's in, so they probably just like sat him down real quick, like, "Hey, we're filming this. Dial it in. Good luck."
So, how did you feel about them changing how Superman comes back? Because in the original, he just kind of like regenerated and came back, and in this one, they actually brought him back.
Well, in the first one, they in the Whedon version, they still used the mother box to bring him back.
Did they?
In the ship, I think so. Yeah, they were, because I remember because that was one of the things I was trying to separate. Where in the Whedon version, they specifically told Flash that like you have to touch the box the millisecond it touches the liquid. Whereas this one, Flash did those Flash things,
yeah,
and it didn't matter. But yeah, I think in the original one they definitely used the mother box in the ship to bring him back. They definitely did it a lot better in this version. A lot cooler.
Well, I mean, they did everything better in this version.
Everything was better.
Everything was better. Any complaint that I come up with is just counteracted by, but it's still better.
It's still better. So there's one complaint I have, and like, I kind of want to tell, like, WoW to not listen to this port. It's not a spoiler in any way, but it's gonna ruin the movie for you. You can listen if you want to, but like
I can already tell you, I'm already gonna go ahead and do it. Like as soon as
dude, you're gonna enjoy the movie no matter what. Like no matter what we tell you, you're gonna enjoy the movie. So like, it's like someone told me when I fought, like after I watched the first Star Trek movie, the very first Star Trek movie, that was like in 2009, I think it was.
Is that really?
I watched it, I liked it, and then someone mentioned something to me, and I watched it again. They mentioned the lens flares. They're like, "How do you like the lens flares?" And I was like, "What lens flares?" And then I watched it, and every time I watch it again, I'm like, "Oh my god, these fucking lens flares are just everywhere, and just burning." So like anybody else that's watching, I'm gonna mention it's something so insignificant, but like once you notice it, it just fucking bugs the shit out of you.
And I'm more than likely gonna notice it because
I'm so sorry.
It's because normally I notice, like, when you watch a movie and you see like all of those like things, like, hey, like in one scene the cup was full, and then the next scene the cup is empty or halfway full. I'm bad for noticing stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And now I've gotten Katie to actually start noticing it as well. So now that you've said it, I'm gonna be like, motherfucker.
It's terrible. It burned me up today. It burned me up today. So like I didn't notice it the first time, and then like I saw a couple memes. I saw like a meme or two about it, and it's just like, like the video, like the guy or the meme, the guy like sitting in the classroom. He's got like all the veins in his head like popping out because he's like trying to hold it in. And it's just like it says like Zack Snyder's trying to go 5 minutes without the Amazon lady in the background singing. I don't know, like so like anytime Wonder Woman is on scene, you just hear in the background like the Amazonian woman just like, and it's just like it happens so much. Like it even starts happening when like she's not even on screen. Just like she's getting ready to appear on screen, and you're just like, oh wow, yeah, it's a lot. That's a lot, man.
Yeah, she has her own theme song on every scene.
A lot of moments. There were a lot of moments throughout that movie where the audio would constantly dip out. Did you guys experience that?
Mm-mm.
I did have an experience with that where like the audio, like I kept finding myself adjusting my audio a lot. Like I had to turn it up or I had to turn it down.
Yeah.
Like it was mostly during like dialogue scenes, and like action scenes where the audio is pretty constant. But like during like some dialogue scenes, I had to like turn my audio up because I couldn't hear people, and then I would have to turn it down.
Man, there were certain scenes where my audio just completely cut out, and then when it got to a certain part in the scene, it would pick back up. So I was like, man, did they just rush this out and not edit it properly?
No,
I wasn't sure if it was just me.
I didn't have any of those problems, but then again, I watched the first half of the movie with a 3-year-old toddler running around, so. It was just,
right.
How high can this TV go?
No, I didn't have any problems with that.
But yeah,
I hope.
Like, who was Darkseid's little escort there? I don't recognize him from anything.
Oh, I can't remember his name. You're talking about The
Like,
is it
wanna, like,
Debian?
I
I want
want
to say it's like a
look him up
Debian
and
or something
see
like that.
what his stick is.
I don't know. Mother Goodness was there though. Mother Goodness was over there. God, not gonna lie, I wish Mother Goodness would come over here and beat the shit out of me. I would enjoy that. Goodness was not looking bad. I'm sorry. Watching Mother Goodness and Young Justice, I was like, yo, stay over there. Stay over there. I don't need to talk to you. Mother Goodness over here in Justice League, I was like, if you come invade my planet, I might be okay with this.
Can't take you
my
anywhere.
goodness.
You can no.
Hide your wives, everybody. Hide your wives.
But like I'm trying to find like I gotta watch it again. But like there's nothing really. I mean, there's a couple of things to rag on, honestly. Like but it's all opinion based. For me, like, okay, I will say this: there was one scene that Whedon did that I kind of wish that we still had. Was that intro scene of the war with Steppenwolf?
I don't remember that scene.
The
The war with Steppenwolf?
not the first time that Darkseid invaded. And
I mean, they had that scene.
They had it, but in the original, they had like a full like motion comic book. Like it was like 5 minutes of a motion comic book, where they were like flipping through and like you had like all the lanterns going nuts and things like that. I wish that we still had that scene.
I don't remember that scene. I actually plan to like watch the original Justice League, or just skim through it.
Like, don't get me wrong, like what they replaced it with was still really good because they replaced it with that scene where they had, there was a lantern there.
Yeah, there were more lanterns. There was a lot more lanterns in the Whedon cut, weren't there?
Yeah.
There was like 3 lanterns going around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and that's the only thing I'm waiting for, man. That's the only thing I'm waiting for in this DCEU, man. I'm waiting for Jon Stewart to show up out of nowhere and just start.
Yeah, like honestly, like I thought that Ryan Reynolds was not a good
Hal Jordan.
He would have been a great Kyle Rayner. But I don't.
Ryan Reynolds would have told you that too.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I didn't even mind that the suit was animated. I wasn't expecting anything more from the time frame that the movie came out. But they try to like cram like 4 stories into that one movie, and it just didn't work. And then they turned what's his face into Galactus, where he's just a big cloud and not an actual villain.
Yeah, I watched that movie not too long ago just to see if it was as bad as I remember.
Which one? Fantastic Four or Green Lantern?
Green Lantern.
I don't know. But all right, we went on for like an hour and 40 here, so let's go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you everybody that came out and everybody who comes out later to watch. We will see you next week. This has been I am Griffmore. We got TCP, the Caramel Prince, Solops Fanaron over there, and Wild. We will see you guys next